What is up, guys? Sam Dog, the infamous 253, coming at you guys with Dallas Stewart. Dallas, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Conference Championship Sunday.
Yep.
3 days away.
3 days away, and time to make the picks. And these games hopefully live up to the hype, just like last week's games lived up to the hype, especially that game between Kansas City and Buffalo. Man, what a game that was, man. Freaking Patrick Mahomes with 13 seconds left to send it to overtime, and then got the ball and drove down the field and won the game. And man, 49ers beating the Packers with just special teams. And the Rams, man, I'll tell you what, Tampa, man, made a big mistake not double covering Cooper Kupp, man. Putting a safety one-on-one with him, and he just got wide open. And that's the reason why they were able to get that last-second field goal after almost pulling in Atlanta.
Yeah, the Rams knocked off the defending champs, and the 49ers knocked off the Packers, the number one seed. So both top seeds in the NFC went down, and then the number one seed in the AFC went down. It was a weekend of the upsets.
Yeah, and now basically, man, the Rams, SoFi Stadium's gonna be the first stadium to host the NFC Championship and the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl in the same year. Crazy to think.
Yeah, either the 49ers or the Rams are going to have 2 straight games at SoFi.
Yeah, one of those two. First game, though, Bengals versus Chiefs, man. Now, I'll tell you what, Cincinnati Bengals, man, the way they upset Tennessee while Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times, man. The fact that he got sacked 9 times and was still able to win that game was just incredible. But also, you got to credit the Bengals defense for the way they got after Tannehill and made him throw that interception at the near the end when they were trying to go drive down the field and win the game, and they were able to set up McPherson for that game-winning kick. And McPherson said it before he made the kick. He said, "We're going to the AFC Championship game." Called his shot, nailed his kick, and sure enough, Cincinnati's in there. It's been a great run for Cincinnati, and they got nothing to hold their heads down on. They got a bright future ahead of them.
Yeah, this is their first appearance in the conference title game since '88.
1988, back when Ken Anderson was the quarterback, and that was the year that the 49ers drove down the field on the infamous John Candy drive when Joe Montana spotted John Candy in the other end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, CG Ruthless should know something about that, too. But, man, this time, and we know the Bengals beat the Chiefs in Week 17 of the regular season during that time, which was an incredible game, too. Came down to the final seconds, and that game was in Cincinnati. Only difference now, this game's in Arrowhead Stadium. One of the top home field advantages in the NFL and one of the loudest venues in the NFL, if not the loudest. Arrowhead and that fan base is going to be on full display, and they're going to come out in full force, making all that noise. And we'll get into Joe Burrow's head. We'll see. We know what Jamar Chase brings. We know what C.J. Uzomah brings. Joe Mixon, and then Patrick Mahomes with his high-flying weapons with Kelsey, Hardman, Tyreek Hill, and freaking Pringles stepping up for them too, and all sorts of weapons. I mean, this should be a great game. But this time around with the conference championship game, granted, Bengals got nothing to hold their head down. I'm not sleeping on anyone because anyone can win any given Sunday, as has been shown in these last few weeks. But games in Arrowhead, and the Chiefs thrive big time at Arrowhead, especially recently in recent history in the playoffs with Patrick Mahomes. So on this one, I'm going to side home team, and I am going to go Kansas City to be the AFC representative in Super Bowl 56. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs. Not sleeping on anyone in this game because I think this game is going to be a good game, and Cincinnati is definitely shown that they got a bright future ahead of them. They got a good team. They could very well be in it too, but we're just making our best pick and best guess of who we think will win and be in it, and my pick is Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas City to get to their 3rd straight Super Bowl and get it done at Arrowhead. It should be a good game, though. I'm not sleeping on Cincinnati. They definitely could pull off the upset, but I'm going to go with Kansas City.
And like I said, Arrowhead is a tough place to play, for sure. And that crowd is going to be in full force. in the
game's
AFC.
going to be a test for Cincinnati's defense.
Yeah. I mean, they did it last time in the regular season, but I'll tell you what, trying to do it in Arrowhead, completely different animal, man.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, up next, the NFC Championship. First time since 2013 season that the NFC Championship game features two NFC West rivals going at it for the rights to go to the Super Bowl. I remember because the last time around, I was there in that end zone when Richard Sherman tipped us to this, Super Bowl 48. I remember that because it was Seahawks versus 49ers. Now this time it's Battle California, Rams and 49ers in SoFi Stadium in the host city, which SoFi Stadium will be hosting Super Bowl 56. Either the Niners get back-to-back games at SoFi Stadium or the Rams become the second team in history to host the Super Bowl, having back-to-back home games in SoFi Stadium. Now the 49ers, the last 6 times they played the Rams, have beaten them. The Niners have just had the Rams' numbers, but it was crazy that it was special teams that decided their game in Lambeau Field with the weather and all the elements on Aaron Rodgers' side. And Aaron Rodgers could not even hit Allen Lazard wide open in that game, too. Instead, trying to go for double covered Devontae Adams.
Yeah, the 49ers pass rush really got to Aaron Rodgers in that game, 5 sacks.
Yeah, can they do it again on Matthew Stafford? And Matthew Stafford, I mean, it's crazy. The Rams almost pulled their best Atlanta Falcons impersonation of Super Bowl 51, and Cam Akers fumbled it away. But they were lucky that they were left 42nd seconds when Fournette scored way too fast on that 4th down conversion for that touchdown.
Yeah.
They were fortunate, and then, of course, Matthew Stafford hitting Cooper Kupp twice on 2 big plays to set up the game-winning field goal by Matt Gay. Rams defense, though, Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and on the cornerbacks, this will be an interesting matchup this time around, too. This time they got to be more ready for Jawan Jennings and George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and those other weapons that the 49ers have, especially Deebo Samuel, who is playing some of the best football right now in the league at receiver and running back. Hell, he could even throw the ball good, too.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah. Anybody can win this one, and I'm not sleeping on San Francisco either, man. I'm not sleeping on San Francisco. I'm not sleeping on the Rams. For all we know, we could possibly have a Super Bowl 54 rematch, for all we know.
We definitely could.
Or, hell, we could even have a Super Bowl rematch of 1988, of the 80s, from the 2 times when the Niners and Bengals played. Or we could get Rams versus Chiefs, or Rams versus Bengals, for all we freaking know. But this weekend, Championship Sunday, hopefully this lives up to the hype and we get some good football. But regardless, I know it sucks as a Seahawks fan seeing 2 NFC West teams fighting for the right to go to the Super Bowl, 2 rivals. But, can't hate. They're good. I mean, especially the Rams, with Matthew Stafford. I mean, look at what 1 year out of Detroit did to Matthew Stafford.
Oh, yeah, I think he got out of the dysfunction and he prospered off of it.
Big time. Once he got out of the grasp of the Ford family with how poorly they run the Detroit Lions. Oh, man. It's a tough one. I mean, but on this one, home team, I think, like you mentioned before, you said that this time, the 3rd time is the charm for the Rams, too. But, man, I'm actually going to side with you on that one. And this time, I think, but I'm not sleeping on San Francisco, Tommy Huxley, just letting you know. I'm not sleeping. I think they could possibly get it, too, but unfortunately, I think the 3rd time is going to be the charm for the Rams, and I think this time the Rams will find some way to get over the hump, especially since this is the opportunity for them to become the 2nd team in history to host a Super Bowl. So I'm going to...
And in back-to-back years.
Yeah, back-to-back years since Tom Brady and Tampa did it last year, but I'm going to go ahead and take LA to be the 2nd team to host the Super Bowl in back-to-back years.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams as well. To finally get over that hump and beat San Francisco and end San Francisco's wild card run.
But don't be surprised, though, if San Francisco makes it 7 in a row. Yeah. I'm going to say that. I will give them that. I will not be surprised.
Defense has been playing really well.
And
Bosa and Eric Armstead and, Utah can get after Stafford, they could force him to make some mistakes.
They made Aaron Rodgers make mistakes. And they definitely made Dak Prescott make mistakes in the wild card game. So if it's 7 in a row, who knows? We could have a Super Bowl 54 rematch down in California.
Yep.
And there you pretty much have it. So drop your picks down below and let's see what happens. It's going to be fun. But hopefully we're given another exciting weekend of some good football like we've been given these last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, and did I mention Ben Roethlisberger retired today? He finally made his retirement announcement official, and then the Chicago Bears hired Colts defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus as their new head coach. And Jeff Fisher is going to be the head coach of that USFL team in Michigan, the Michigan Panthers, from what I've also heard in other news outside of these picks. Pretty interesting stuff. And are the Jags going to actually hire Byron Leftwich from what I'm hearing in rumors?
I haven't heard much about that opening yet. I know
the words are getting out.
Broncos hired Nathaniel Hackett.
Nathaniel Hackett?
The Packers' old OC.
Wow. So moves are happening.
So those are the job openings that got filled so far.
Yeah. It's always interesting when you see these kind of moves happen like that. It's always cool to watch that and see what happens and see how it goes for a team when the next season begins. But other than that, Dallas Stewart and I, we're about to sign out. Thank you guys for joining us for the picks and dropping your picks down in the comments down below. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. And also, I want to give a shout out to my man CG Ruthless Sports. He is close to 3,000 subscribers, so make sure you help my man CG Ruthless Sports on getting to 3,000 subscribers. He deserves it. He's a 49er content creator, but a good friend of mine, down-to-earth guy, and show him love. Just gotta say. Anyway, we will catch y'all later. If you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. And as always, go Seahawks.